So our 2022 slate of officers is Amber Soria, our board chair, Mike Dyberg, our vice chair, Ted Broxman, our treasurer, and then Justin, and he's not on here today. He's running ill, but he is our past chair. Our board at large members are Brian Jones, Catherine Starkovich, Mary Jo Sanders, Linda Tyler, Therese Lundvall, Anna Holm, Mindy Holland, Mike Lavera, and Karen Flint. And I'm pretty sure most of them were able to make it today. But I just wanted to welcome everyone, and we're very excited to have the new board members with a lot of new experience. And with that said, I think I'm going to pass it over to Amber, our new chairman, so she can chit chat a little bit about what's going on.
Hey, everybody, Burlington Chamber, thanks for joining us. And I love the attendance. And yes, let's keep this up after March. I think that's a great idea. Just want to welcome the new board members and really just the 2022 board itself. We've got a pretty big agenda this year, actually. We are going to be doing a deep dive into our bylaws, which is something that has been kind of put off for a little bit, but we're making it happen this year. So we've got quite a big task with that. So that's going to be fantastic. We have a summit coming up where we're going to get our strategic plan all dialed out as well. And then other than that, just a year of hopefully getting back to in person and spending time together and just being able to really take advantage of our networking opportunities and this absolutely amazing community that we all get to call home. So thank you guys so much for coming and looking forward to a fabulous 2022. All right, is Steph back? I saw that she left. Technology is amazing when it works, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I think
Great Very Dairy Days background, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, that looks fantastic.
Well, I'm going to be speaking since Steph's microphone isn't working, but I wanted to thank our sponsor, Phil. First off, thank you for sponsoring this luncheon, Phil. He's going to be speaking in just a moment, but I did want to talk about a few things like Berry Dairy Days. So we are working on getting our committee together. It's a committee that's going to be helping to plan and coordinate Berry Dairy Days this year. We haven't figured out the dates. I've put out a poll with the people who have said they're interested to kind of find out what days are going to work best to meet. But if you're interested in it, this is a really fun committee, and it goes from now until June, so it's not a full year. So if you have availability like in the springtime, that's great. And yeah, so if you're interested in joining the committee, please reach out. You can send me an email. I'll put it in the chat, or you can just direct message me on the chat as well, and I can get you on that list to get communication. Even if you don't know if you want to commit to it, you can always come to our first meeting. We're going to do it virtually via Zoom. You can kind of see what it's all about, and then let me know after that. And then also, if you're interested in volunteering at the event, or if you're interested in being a sponsor or anything, we haven't started official calls yet, but if you want to get ahead of the game, let me know, and I can get your slot kind of taken care of for like sponsorship and that sort of thing. And then we're also looking for more people to join our other committees, such as like the ambassadors and things. So if you're interested in any of that, just reach out to me or Chloe. And then we have an announcement for Awards of Excellence. Nominations are currently open, and it did get rolled back. So we're planning on doing the Awards of Excellence in November. So I think that's it on what I have to say. And I'm going to turn it over to Phil now.
Here we go. We're going to share the screen here, I guess, right? And we are going to move this out of the way. Okay. So Good to be here. Good to sponsor. Looking forward to hearing Blake. I'm gonna go through these slides pretty expeditiously, and because I want to make sure we save time for Blake. All right, so Primerica, why we do what we do and how we do it. Let's see. How often do you think about money? Let me see some hands. Did anyone think about money today already? Anybody? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There's a couple of hands there. So a little bit about Primerica, founded in 1977, just designed to help middle America families. We're the largest independent financial services brokerage company in North America. We have over 130,000 licensed reps. We're listed on the New York Stock Exchange under PRI. We have more than 5 million people insured and 2 million investment clients. So what is today's problem? The big problem out there with families? Well, US households carry an average of a credit card balance of $17,000, student loan debt of $51,000, and auto loans of $30,000. I would say that credit card debt in this area is a little bit low. We like to have fun here. We have go snowmobiling, boating, hiking outside. So that balance might be a little low for Skagit here. So that's almost $100,000 in debt, not including the mortgage. Well, we can show people how to pay that mortgage off as far as getting debt free. And sometimes in 10 years or less. All right. So 95 million US adults have no life insurance. The average life insurance gap, if you have a certain amount, is going to be about $500,000 difference from what you actually need. So another issue with that is that people rely on group insurance, and that definitely, the cost is right. It's, free often through the job, but it's not going to cover that gap. All right. So MSN Money said 62% of Americans had less than $1,000 saved and 28% had zero. All right. 78% are living paycheck to paycheck. You may know somebody like that. There's over $8 trillion sitting in banks and money markets accounts, earning less than 1%. So if you're talking about saving money and you have all this money, we run across it all the time, where this money sitting in these low interest bearing accounts, is very difficult to have your middle bucket established and contribute to your long-term bucket, which is your retirement. So what's the result of those problems? This is from the Social Security Administration. I said the source is smart money, but you can go right to the Social Security website and get these statistics. Out of every 100 hardworking people who followed the system to age 65, at 54% of those are relying on Social Security. Okay, 36% are still working. How many people do you know like that? 5% are deceased, unfortunately. 4% have $1 million, so they're doing okay. And then the 1% are the wealthy, they have 5 million. So why do 95% fail, those hardworking people like you and I, when it comes to their finances? Well, number one, there is no financial education. We don't learn it in school. It's not taught there. We often don't get taught by our parents. Sometimes they don't know. So you end up getting your education from the water cooler or maybe online. And when you go out there, there's everyone's saying a different thing. And then number two, they don't have a financial game plan. Nothing that takes them from where they are today to where they need to go in retirement with all their dreams and goals there. It's often in their head, but not written down. And then there's no financial coach. We have coaches for our workouts. We were talking about that earlier. For the gym, getting in shape. For business, we have business coaches. The professionals have, Tiger Woods and those guys, they have coaches to help them in their game. But for some reason, we don't have a financial coach. And that's what makes a difference between moving from that 95% on this screen to the 5%. So how do we take care of it? What's the solution? We have two solutions. The $B Smart, you may have heard me talk about that a lot. That's our app. That's a web-based app. It takes 5 minutes to do. And what it's designed to do is help you improve, I like to say optimize your finances, because everyone comes from a different point. A younger person's going to have a different needs than someone in middle aged with two, teenage kids. But so that helps identify the problems. And it's a revolutionary technology. It's interactive, intuitive, so it goes based on what you answer. It takes 5 minutes or less. We help you understand those alerts. If you think of your car and the light comes on for low tire pressure or oil change, you immediately take care of those alerts. So it's all normal, and those alerts are all designed to improve your finances. So we help identify those problems. Of course, we don't charge for that. And then the second app is the Primerica app. That actually solves the problem. And the way that we do that is we partner up with our strategic partners to help fix whatever the problem may be that's important to you. So for example, you can see debt elimination. If someone has debt, auto home insurance, insurance protection, investments, and coming soon, Quicken Mortgage. We've been out of the mortgage business for several years since the meltdown in 2008, but now we're getting back into that. In Washington State, they're always lagged behind, but we'll soon be doing Quicken loans. You can see some of the partnerships we work with: Fidelity, TD American Trade, Voya, AIG, Lincoln, all the top brands, Travelers. And those are the companies that we hook up to solve those problems. So like Amazon, we're a broker to some of the largest companies in America. And that's all I had to say, because I want to save time for Blake. Thank you very much. It's been great being a sponsor.
Thank you, Phil. That was great. Great information. And he has a virtual handout that we'll be sending out to participants here at the end of the luncheon. So Blake, if you're ready, it's over to you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Phil, for that fantastic information. Great to learn. And also, I think I saw in this gathering, are there 2 other Blakes? And so 3 Blakes, and I think that's never happened to me in my entire life. So hi, other Blakes. And also I'd like to thank the staff and board at the Burlington Chamber. Thank you so much for all of the great work you do for our community and helping just connect people. So I appreciate it. And at Genuine Skagit, we're definitely happy to be involved. So thank you. So I will go ahead and get started and share my screen here. All right. Let's see. And can you guys see that there? Is everyone good? Awesome. Okay. Well, first, I do like to start. I'm going to put you in gallery mode because if I can, I do like to see, how much our community does know about agriculture here. I'm sure a lot of you probably commute into work and go past some of our beautiful farmland. And I know we all think it is definitely a special place. And so I do have some questions, and you're welcome to raise your hand. However, I'm not sure if I can see everyone. Yeah, maybe not. No. All righty. So how many of you guys grew up on a farm? How many did you have grandparents that farmed? Which is usually more. And how many of you, I guess, oh, thanks for the hand. Oh, good. Wonderful. And raise your hand if how many of you know how to find and access and buy our Skagit grown foods. Hey, I get 3 hands. Wonderful. Hi, Gina. Great. Well, that feeds into what we have here at Genuine Skagit Valley. So this is a program that began as far back as 2013, when the conversation started of how can we put a place-based marketing and branding campaign together in support of our agricultural sector. We all know that the crops grown here are diverse, they're distinctive. We sell crops around the world. And so how can we put something together that further supports that industry? Genuine Skagit Valley was born of the Innovation Partnership Zone. And the Innovation Partnership Zone was designated by the Washington State Department of Commerce in 2013 and renewed in 2017. And this is a multi-stakeholder group. So a lot of different partnerships, organizations went in to helping launch Genuine Skagit Valley, including the Port of Skagit, Northwest Agricultural Business Center, Washington State University, EDASC, City of Mount Vernon, as well as some of our privately owned companies that really are stakeholders in our agricultural industry. And so of the Innovation Partnership Zone, they looked to put something together that was innovative in marketing. And with that, they decided to put together a terroir brand. And terroir is something that speaks to our provenance. It speaks to our sense of place. It speaks to our land. And so it's our soil, it's our open space, it's everything that lends itself to the incredible crops and foods that are grown here. And I do like to highlight, I think for some of you that may have grown up in Puget Sound, further south, this is the last remaining agricultural valley in the Puget Sound region. All of the other ones that have been important producers are now largely developed. And so we want to preserve this natural heritage and enhance our reputation as a premier, preferred, and distinctive origin brand. And it is through place-based marketing that we are looking to connect the consumer to these products. And within that, and internally, we put together a promise, which you can see here. And I think for many of you that live here, some of this will definitely resonate in that we appreciate our wide open spaces, the mountains, the rivers, the sea, they all contribute and play a part in the ecosystem of our farmland. And also too, families continuing to grow and provide the best. And we have 96% family-owned farms here in Skagit. And so that's a great percentage to have. In 2017, a survey was done with Puget Sound residents, and it asked the question, why do we need this? Why do we need a brand that speaks for agricultural goods, that helps raise awareness of them? And within that survey, they did find that less than 50% of Puget Sound residents could name even one agricultural crop from here. And we have 80. And this is, and I'm sure many of you can raise your hands and say, yes, we know about tulips. But there is a lot that is grown here. And definitely to not even be able to name one is definitely means we have our work cut out for ourselves. So there's a lot of opportunity to educate and reach more people and reach the public. The good part of this was that, you know, now I think sometimes there can always be the pendulum between who, you know, what can fetch a higher price. Is it organic or is it local? Well, actually, people will pay more for local. And what was fascinating is that every single one of those surveyed, and we surveyed about 1,000 people, were willing to pay for something locally grown. And then for our own residents in 2020, we surveyed about 400 and asked them, what do you think some of the top crops that are grown here in Skagit? And of course, one of the things that does go into preservation is having an understanding of the resource by which we want to ensure it definitely stays and keeps going. And potatoes, that was really great to see our residents know that, yes, we grow a lot of potatoes here. It brings in about $60 million in revenue to our economy, to our farming economy. And it is very much an important crop that did come after we had peas. And you will see in this word cloud, there is, I think, a little tiny peas in there. And then of course, berries ranked high. But in actuality, you will find that right behind potatoes, if you look at some of our top crops that are listed over here to the left, The bulb industry, nursery, floriculture, dairy is number 3. So we definitely have some good dairies here. And field crops, which is wheat, barley. Yes, corn is grown. And you'll see corn was big here. A lot of our residents thought corn was a main crop, but we don't grow for the fresh market. That's mainly grown for silage or green chop. It's something that's incorporated in for animal feed. And then also we grow a lot of eggs and chickens. So they're and some things you don't see as much of, but it is interesting to see that. And then blueberries, livestock, so cattle, and vegetable seed. And what is interesting and what I love to say about vegetable seed is that we supply 75% of the US supply of spinach seed and 25% of the world's cabbage seed, and actually 50% of the world's beet seed. It's a major part of what we grow here in Skagit. And the main vehicle by which our campaign works through is a certification mark. And the Port of Skagit worked tirelessly for over 2 years with the US Trademark Office to get this certification mark federally registered. And this is a big deal. This is something that supports our entire community ultimately, because it really is promoting a positive aspect of our community and the quality of our agricultural goods. So within that, we encourage our producers, and I'm hoping if you can give me a thumbs up, if you can see the video that is coming through. Sometimes they stall. Awesome. Thank you. Good. We encourage our producers to put the mark on their products. And then this is something too, when you're shopping, if you see this, you know that it's grown here in Skagit. We only work with producers who grow within the Skagit Valley. And then within processed products, their main defining ingredient is a Skagit grown product. So it's important that all parts of this economy are being supported, and especially our growers. Oops. And here you'll see the different types of producers or organizations that we work with. You know, we have members and we also have supporters. And so we work with any organization or business that supports agriculture, is allied to agriculture, and wants to show that they're happy to support the agricultural economy. But within those that we do work to support their businesses, promote their businesses, it's farmers, ranchers, dairies, shellfish producers, aquaculture is part of farming. And of course, some of those that I've mentioned before, but bakers, millers, brewers, you name it. Chestnuts. I think, Kevin, I saw you join the meeting. Oh, let me see if I can get out of here. Sometimes there we go. Another component of what we do are campaigns. So different ways that we can reach not only the media, but also our local residents as well as visitors. And one that we started in 2020 is Farm Stand Fresh. And in the summer months of July and August, if you are driving through, look for the Farm Stand Fresh signs, our wonderful, amazing farm stands, put them out there. Last year, we were privileged to work with 16 different farm stands in the Valley. It's one of the best ways that you can get fresh food here. And so I do encourage you to go around the Valley and just get your food from our farm stands. It's a unique experience. It's an experience that I think a lot of communities, especially urban ones, aren't able to offer. So that is something we do. And then we also coordinate with our chef community. And for those that go to a farm stand and pick up some produce, they are welcome to sign up for a free 15-minute Zoom with one of our area chefs. There you can see Albie Bjornberg of Nell Thorne, and just get some tips on how to cook the bounty in their basket. Another campaign that we are launching is the Genuine Skagit Valley Pantry. And with that, we've worked with producers who sell through the Puget Sound Food Hub and put together videos that showcase how their food is made, how it is grown, how it is processed, and then some quick tips at the very end on how to cook it. And so within the shelves at the supermarket, a QR code is attached, a quick video. And not only do you get to see who is either grown or made your food, but maybe walk away with a little idea on how to cook it.
My name is Andrew Miller. I'm the CEO of Fairhaven Mill. So we're a non-commodity flour company. And so what we do is we take high quality grains and we convert them into high quality craft flour. And we really think that craft is about care, it's about creativity, and it's about community. The nature of the way that we mill is it's whole grain, right? Everything that goes into our mill comes out the other end. So all of the amino acids, all of the oils, all of the nutrition that came from the grain goes into the flour. Oh, my favorite dish that we do with here is our pizza flour that we do. It's a blended soft white and our 00 pizza. I love pizza anyway, but knowing that it's organic and that some of it was grown here in the region, it makes it taste all that much better.
And so again, how best can we engage and connect our consumer? I don't know why it doesn't let me switch.
My name.
There we go. And through February 1st, I do encourage you to submit a recipe. We're putting together a cookbook. We'll be working on it this entire year to connect with our producers, to connect with the ingredients that, the fresh ingredients that we'll need to access, and also to welcome our community members in sending in recipes that speak to their heritage, that speak to their family. If you do farm, yes, something that you grow. And so there is a QR code. You're welcome to scan it, hold your phone up to the screen and scan that in. Otherwise, you can also just go to our website and submit a recipe. And again, that goes, we cut off the date for submissions on February 1st. And our partners, our members and our partners, there you can see Burlington Chamber. And building those collaborations, this program came into the public sphere in 2019, so it's still new. And I've been so grateful to have a lot of organizations reach out and just to coordinate on different events, things like that. I'm so excited for Berry Dairy Days. So glad to see that back. And some of the other things that we're working on this year are Skagit Farm to Pint. That's right around the corner in March and April. The Skagit Valley Tulip Festival, coordinating with them. And then also on the horizon, you will soon see a Skagit Valley food trail map. Visit Skagit, and our tourism bureau is working hard on getting that one put together that can help people travel throughout the entire valley and go to some just fantastic places that showcase our local foods. And then also Skagit County Fair. So working locally with all of the great businesses and organizations that are doing quite a bit to support our agricultural economy is something that is important. And there you can see our promise again. And, you know, ultimately, it's just a privilege to go out to the farms, meet our farmers, see how hard they work, how much work it goes into getting food to our tables. And you know, again, like I really appreciate everything that they're doing to make this happen. We have incredibly distinctive products. And actually, when I was talking earlier about some of those surveys, when we did that, we inquired about quality, and Skagit products scored 9 out of 10 on quality. So I think we know people are doing a good job. And then to finish up, I will show this quick, which really does summarize where we're headed.
Skagit Valley is an incredible place. We have 80 commercial crops of significance that we grow here in the valley. Our community and our economy is based on a lot on agriculture and the viability. And so by supporting Genuine Skagit, you're supporting farmers, you're supporting a small community, and you're continuing to ensure that there's a next generation of farmers.
Family farms are the fabric of our rural economy. They provide jobs, steward our natural resources, and keeping people connected to where our food comes from.
The future of people purchasing food direct from the farm for farm freshness, high quality, good tasting food. We're just seeing the beginning of it.
And there was one last slide that did have my email on it, but you're also welcome to go to our website and see everything there. So thank you very much. I'm happy, open to questions.
Blake, this is Mike Diber. I heard a rumor that some of our farmers are going to start raising fish this year.
Raising, what's that?
Raising fish. I see all the fields are underwater.
That could be likely, or rice. Maybe we need to start growing have some rice paddies.
Like, I have a question.
Yes.
And I hope I'm not putting you on the spot with this, but what would you say is like at the top of your wish list for the program? And how could the Burlington Chamber and our members support you in that with this program?
Gosh, okay, there are two answers to that one. One is that ultimately Genuine Skagit is a pass-through. I really hope to see the viability of our farmers succeed and increase, the value of their products increase. And so by having not only our locals, but visitors really take advantage of accessing Skagit foods and buying more of them, that is the goal. And so that's not anything necessarily that I may see, but it's important. And so it's not necessarily about Genuine Skagit, but it's about our farmers and our producers. In regards to the program, I think with a lot of organizations, it's involvement, it's engagement, it's seeing that our public knows about us, signing up for our newsletter, following us on Instagram. Those are great ways that really help support the program, which in turn supports our farmers. And so I would say wish list for Chamber is that we just continue to stay engaged and support one another. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I've heard your presentation a few times and I get excited each time I hear about it. So
thank you, Linda.
Blake, is there you mentioned these different farms and stands and things. Did you say you're putting like a little map together, or because I want to go to these places, but I don't know the best way to do it.
You got it. So on our website is a farm stand fresh link. The farm stands there are listed. We also have a map, an Explore Skagit map that is on our website. And within those, you can just do your category search for farm stands and you'll get a whole map of all of these places that can and do support a visitor experience. Oh, and here we go. I'll put in our website.
Blake, I'll play the devil's advocate. I'm a city kid.
Yes.
Up in the city, Oakland. So how can I relate to your obvious enthusiasm about farmland?
It's my job to help convey and connect. And I suppose it depends if you're living in Oakland or you're coming up here for a visit, and you're able to access and take advantage of perhaps some of the different ways that we do encourage our public to take forth in Skagit foods. You know, that's a great question, but hopefully, ultimately, let's say you're in Oakland, you see the products on the shelf and know, oh, that's Skagit Valley, right? It's not Skagit. You wonder where the heck it's from. A lot of people have never even heard of this valley. So first, if we can just work on pronunciation, then that's a good step. And then second, seeing Skagit Valley and saying, hey, oh my gosh, that's a great place. Like how we recognize Napa or some Fraser or some of these other valleys around. So that I feel like would be success.
Okay. Well, I'm officially a transplant. We bought a house and we settled in Mount Vernon. So
wonderful. Good. Any more questions?
I just have a comment.
Sure.
Brian, I loved your question. As born and raised in Skagit Valley, former pea viner, left the state to move to a city. I can't tell you how much I missed and took for granted the fresh fruits and vegetables and accessibility until I did move to a city. In that city, we helped put together community gardens, and you know, since moved then to the country and then came back. But there is so much here that people don't really realize and take for granted, especially if you move to a different place. And I was bummed when I moved back and there were no more peas and pea fields, but I can drive through Burlington and Mount Vernon, and I can actually picture driving a tractor down one of those roads into one of those pea fields. So it's great to be back home. I've been back for 5 years, but it's really cool to see this presentation, Blake. It was wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to say, I hope everyone's patient when they're behind a tractor. So I'm always wondering if I can count all of the share the road tractor signs throughout the county. There are quite a few of them.
And if I can add to that, I started picking strawberries when I was 8 years old for Larson Berry Farms. I made $28 my first summer, and I put $14 of that in the bank, and then drove a tractor from Burlington, from the national site, up to Concrete to start the season pea vining, and that took like 3 hours. So I missed the pea fields too, Christy. You drive by the combines, and there's just something about seeing those pea combines. So Blake, is there any chance of getting a pea industry back in the valley? What's the story on that? Do you have any thoughts?
I may also rope Linda Tyler into this question as well, because the port has done such a tremendous job to support food processing here. I think that's always the key ingredient. So if farmers don't have to pay an exorbitant amount to transport the product for processing, then it really, really enables and supports that local economy. I do think that that's dependent upon a processor opening and setting up shop closer to here.
I think you're right, Blake. I think the cost of processing when that moved out, that really impacted farms, and they had to look at cost-effective ways to pivot. And I think on the positive side, that's where a lot of specialty crops came into play. Is now there's 80 different commercially grown crops in the Skagit Valley, which is incredible, literally A to Z. And
Yes.
And it's pretty amazing to see how the industry has changed and evolved kind of because of that. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think there was a question in the comments I saw. Let me find it. How does Genuine Skagit Valley promote the beauty, farmland, open spaces outside of Washington to draw in tourism?
Oh, great question. So we have grant funding from the USDA that has supported outreach. And when we first started in 2019, we looked at sort of these concentric circles in how best do we reach a public within the budget that we do have. And it has started locally and then has moved regionally. And ultimately, what we're looking to do is expand grant funding beyond 2022 that will support national outreach. That's definitely a different ballgame than I would say local or regional. And then we also do look to our producers to put the mark on their packages with each and every one of those boxes or packages. If it has that Genuine Skagit Valley certification mark on it, it helps further that understanding of our entire region. And it really is something that supports all the neighbors, right? All of the farmers, everybody working together. So for the worldwide goal, I would say give us a few years. It takes time. And if you look at some of the other destination marketing initiatives or place-based marketing initiatives, they didn't happen overnight. They happened over the course of years. And so some of the programs that we have looked to for inspiration are as much as 30 years old. But if we can get our producers to put the mark, and again, they do ship around the world. Like for instance, Garden Path Fermentation, they sell in South Korea. They have the mark on their bottles. Our potatoes also definitely are worldwide. Same with some wheat. So again, it's working together for that goal.
Blake, I have a quick question.
Sure.
So you say you sell worldwide. Is there any effort being made to connect this brand to larger food broadliners to sell as a brand worldwide?
Ask that again. You said broadliners?
Yeah, so like US Foods, Cisco, things like that, if they were able to sell under that brand name to spread it more globally, is there any talk about that? I'm not sure if that's even an option.
Within the landscape of our program, that is not an option, in that we would not be a producer ourselves. So we're only a halo brand, and that it's secondary to the primary brand of the producer. So it's a certification mark for us ourselves to either co-pack, right, an item under our own label and move it. That wouldn't be an option.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Blake, this is Kevin. I just wanted to jump in real quick here. As somebody who works with the chamber, it is here to see and support you, and also has a small farm business. I wanted to kind of give some perspective on how Genuine Skagit Valley has done for somebody local here. So my wife and I are lucky enough to have and care for 20 acres in Mount Vernon, just south of WSU. And we lease a bunch of it, but we have 5 acres of chestnut and walnut trees, about 500 trees total. I will tell you that this last year, we had our best year in sales, and that's due in large part to the efforts of Genuine Skagit Valley. One of the really great things that happened is we got contacted by a food and product distributor called Savor Seattle, who wanted to put 1 pound bags of our chestnuts in 250 CSA bags, CSA boxes, with a whole bunch of other products for the holidays. They do this thing every single month. But we were able to produce the bags, put the chestnuts in them, put our logo. So they contact us. We put a QR code to a video of our orchard, what we do, that was produced by Genuine Skagit Valley. We didn't pay a dime for it. They did it. And we put that logo on our packages. We also do you pick for a couple of weekends up here. So we get all kinds of people from Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, Olympia, from all around who are coming up here. And one of the things that we do is when they come up and do this you pick for, maybe a couple hours in the fall, we send them to all these other businesses. They ask, what do we do for the rest of the day? Well, you could go to, Tulip Town, where they're doing this harvest festival. You could go to the Fairhaven and have lunch, or downtown Mount Vernon and have lunch, or, and we point them to all these other businesses. Go to the port and go to, Garden Path Fermentation, or Chuckanut, or Skagit Landing, or whatever it might be. So Genuine Skagit Valley just propagates business and tourism and those kind of things in our valley, in our area, in a very good way, I think.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Again, like going back to being able to work with our producers, but also, within the umbrella that we have is that we do have funds to put together creative content. And it's so great to see our producers taking advantage of it, leveraging it and moving it. And I will say, Kevin, that one of your video on Lazy Squirrel Nut Farm is one of the most watched on our YouTube channel. And so by you putting that on these tags that then went into the Seattle marketplace, I have to say I really appreciated that.
Could you describe to us the sign up process for a local farm, what that looks like when they approach you, and how us as chamber, how we would market that to maybe one of our contacts in the community that would like to join? How do we describe the process?
Absolutely. We do have an application that is accessible on our website. To be honest, it only takes about a couple of minutes to sign up. We do review that it is a Skagit-based producer. And then I set up a time and make a visit and do my best to learn, just because I want to make sure that our messaging is on point and supportive. And so through the website is probably the best way. And then people can also learn about the program there as well. But it's actually a fairly simple process.
Well, is that all we have for questions?
Like how many CSAs are there in the area?
I love CSAs. Sign up for a CSA. Please do that. There within our program, we also have some really unique ones. There's fresh cheese CSAs. We did have a company that did bread subscriptions. So there's also a winter vegetable CSA. So when you guys are really struggling to cook through the winter, winter production does great in our maritime climate. So we also have that. So there's really a neat diversity. Flour CSAs. So I think within our program, we work with maybe 8 or 9 different CSA type programs.
What's a CSA?
Oh, great question. CSA is community supported agriculture. So what it is you sign up for a share and you pay it, and it's money you give to the farmer before the season starts, and that helps support working capital for the farmer. And also can gauge, I would say, more efficient production, less waste, et cetera. So CSA is a good model for definitely some of our producers. Yes, the Mossy Gate Flour CSA. Yes. Hi, Sarah.
Like, where can people get lists of these?
The CSAs, I actually don't think I have a list on the website. So I would be happy to email folks a list of those that I'm familiar with. And that's actually a great idea. I think that I should get that up on our map or on a section of the website. So thanks for this. It's good. We need to do that.
Okay, so I did it. Are we? Thank you so much, Blake. This was an amazing presentation. I love it. And I actually learned a lot more information also about what's going on in the county. Is there anybody else who has any other questions? No, we are good. Well, it looks like we're actually going to close out a bit early today, but that's okay. I want to thank everyone for coming. I'm really excited that we had, this is, I think, our most attended one. So Blake, you definitely brought them in. And next month, we will be planning on having it at the library and in person. We just, with Omicron and everything, we want to make sure that we were real careful, and we knew that more people would be showing up, being able to do it this way. So with that said, thank you, everyone. Thank you to the board of 2022. I'm really excited to see where we go in this next year. And we will all see you guys later.